Hello. As Marc Ecko's principal, I am so proud to be here in Chicago with all of you on behalf of all the students from Lakewood, New Jersey. Rather than speak to you, we made this video as a surprise for Marc.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sandy Medwick. I became principal for Lakewood High School in 1990. That was the year that this next speaker, Marc Ecko, graduated from Lakewood High School. I understand that he's going to be speaking with you young folks about his education. And nobody knows his education better than the folks from Lakewood High School.
He was the teacher's dream art student, self-motivated when he was always working with airbrush and designing clothing for his friends.
I'm John Craddox. I was one of Marc's teachers. Marc's mother told me that Marc had earned some money in the summer and wanted to buy an airbrush kit with the money. She asked me, what do you know about this? I said, let him go for it, you know?
Marc was, I think, a true artist since he was a little boy, maybe since he was like 4 years old. He was always working with crayons and paint, etc. And his family was aware of it, but I think their dreams were for him to become a pharmacist.
Do you think Marc would have made a good pharmacist?
Not as good as an artist and designer.
Coach Gene Drumright, Marc's football coach, and he was here. I coached him in football when he was a young guy. Marc would have been a great football player. I said, Marc, what are you going to do with your future? He goes, man, my mom wants me to go to Rutgers. I got to go to Rutgers. I said, listen, Marc, you got to do what you feel. Whatever he did, it was like 100%, and he was all out like that type guy. He's a little kid. I wanted Marc to play football. Why? Because coaches are jealous, and coaches are selfish. Hey, that's my dream. My dream for Marc, you know what I'm saying?
My name is Marisol. I graduated with Marc in 1990. He was very studious. I was to see what books.
He was student president from 8th grade to senior year. I thought for sure Marc would make an exceptional pharmacist.
I thought he was going to go to football first.
But you got 9 periods, you apply yourself. You're not going to learn chemistry and physics in the garage painting a t-shirt.
Marc would have gone to the pharmacy. I think he wouldn't have fulfilled his dream in the arts.
Every year, freshmen come in, we always give that speech about follow your dream to the young freshmen, because they come from 8th grade like they're scared.
You can always dream and have a dream, but without having that gut and that will just to do it, you're never going to go anywhere.
We're so proud that that guy follows his dreams. Because if he didn't follow his dreams and he would have did like some of us do, want other people to do, and other people have dreams for us, he would never be where he is today. And so, so the whole world is benefiting from one guy who followed his dreams, and we're so proud of him here at Lakewood High School.
Ladies and gentlemen, and young boys and girls, Marc Ecko. Come on. Marc? Marc, where is it? Let's see. There. Excuse me. Is he back here? Let's see. Here? Yeah? All right. Where the hell is that kid? Jesus, where they're taking forever to get here. Damn teeth. See, shirt, fighting with it. Oh, there we go.
What's up? What's up, people? Oh, yeah. It never works exactly as planned when you shed your skin. Let's see, hold on, I just want Christina, everybody give it up for Christina who helped me with the makeup. Help me out here. Before I start to talk to everybody, come here. Oh, she's over here. Technical difficulty. Not a good look, do a TED speech with tape on your face. All right. Oh yeah. It's about to be on. Oh, you know what? There we go. Let's see. All right. Yeah, what's up? Oh boy. Why did I do that? What's my point? Right? I was in the mood. It's Halloween, right? You guys feeling it? It's like Halloween time. So I was figuring, what the hell? Get ready for Halloween. Not really. I wanted to shed my skin, you know? Because in life, we go through this metamorphosis. This is a normal process, going from a caterpillar, you know, to a butterfly. Shedding your skin doesn't just happen once, folks. It happens frequently. It happens, see, look, I'm still shedding. That process will happen more for you than once. And I also wanted to touch you guys. I wanted to, you know, challenge you a little bit. You know, a friendly challenge. Rock always wins. So you see me now, and I still have this stuff in my teeth. You know, it's weird. But you see me, I'm a designer, right? I'm the guy, the designer, he has a magazine, video games, right? That's what you see, right? Well, I'm not here to talk to you about the formula for success. I'm not going to talk to you about how to snap together a brand or a logo for that matter. I wanted to talk to you about another business, the business of how you make people feel. See, it's my thesis. It's not what you make, it's how you make people feel, right? And what you think you see, you don't really see, right? And it's the bits that you see when your eyes are open, that's not the important bits. It's the bits when your eyes are closed, right? It's that beat in between. That's the piece that stays with you. That's how the business of making you feel is manufactured. There is no Dr. Sandy Medwick. He's a complete fabrication. My real high school principal was named Howard Green. But the folks from Lakewood, I want to shout them out because they did come through for me. Those were real teachers that I had and classmates. So that was really exciting that they put that together. So shout out to Lakewood. Excuse me. Denture stuff, man. This fake teeth thing. So I'm going to paint a picture for you guys. I'm going to paint a picture of reality as I see it, okay? Contrary to what you might think, you see me as a designer, I don't. I see myself as an artist, more of an instigator. I was born in 1972. 1972 was a fascinating year. This was the emergence of a brand named Nike. HBO showed up, right? Nolan Bushnell invented Pong, and that was the birth of Atari. Godfather won the Academy Award for Best Movie, and Bill Gates and Paul Allen started their new business, Trafodata, which became Microsoft. Lakewood is where I'm from, right? It's not where you're from, it's where you're at. Lakewood's an interesting town, right? Growing up in the 80s, among such diversity, there's a big Orthodox Jewish population surrounded by like largely white towns and very ethnically diverse, lots of Black and Latino folks. So growing up there, I connected to my peers through my art, right? And I painted t-shirts in my garage for all my friends, and this was how I got into business. It was also the emergence of skateboarding culture, like really kind of bubbling in the, the 80s, hip hop. I was too fat to breakdance, so that wasn't gonna happen. But when I saw subway art, my face melted, right? And that became a gateway for me to business and to be able to say I'm expressive, I'm an artist. And when MTV launched, it was like the future arrived, man. Like the cable truck came, like, whoa, that was crazy. It was the future arrived. Needless to say, video games, they were coin operated back then, and what you had at home was not nearly as good as what you had at the arcade. It was also kind of crazy. The 80s was a time where like media culture was running 24/7. So, AIDS was going on, and it was this whole Reaganomics thing, and wars on drugs, and the Mike Jackson phenomenon. Star Wars was like a huge influencer of image for me, and George Lucas. And there was this other Star Wars you should ask your teachers about. It was called the Star Wars Missile Defense Shield. Okay, this is real. The government actually designed this missile defense shield. They never saw the light of day, but that was the Cold War. It was a different time, different kind of class of enemies. But I remember these 24/7 news channels and seeing like the Challenger explode, Reagan get shot, like, it was crazy. And these pieces that I was made of and that I'm made of coming from Lakewood are, quite unique. They give me a unique perspective on the world. This is a painting I did. I was just in college. I always, had like obsessions about race and where I fit in, who I was, and my how people viewed me, and just fitting in, right? I was kind of, an oddball. And despite how crazy this all seems, I'm really proud that it's those bits and those pieces that help make me. I painted lots of t-shirts, and I started doing more complex art, and I launched with 6 t-shirts. And for the last 20 years, I've been practicing what I call the extreme art of entrepreneurship, okay? People would say, you're too white for, urban stores, right? Or you're too black for skate shops. So I was like, what? And they're like, no, you're a fad. You're a fad. You're not going to be here. This is just a moment. This whole urban thing, this whole streetwear thing, it's just a moment of time, right? Let me tell you something. The gatekeepers in your life and in your world are not the goalkeepers. And those voices that you will hear, right? Those voices, like the voices of some of my real educators and the character I played as Dr. Medwick, wasn't about my principal. It's about those other voices that want to put you in a box, right? You keep goal, right? Life's about you keeping goal. So I made good on that ADD pop culture thing coming up in the 80s. And that's what gave me, the ability to create a massive industry, massive business. Thousands of SKUs, retail, and I have the blessing of operating in 25 countries globally. It's not about that. It's about the launching pad that it gave me for entrepreneurship. Launched Complex Magazine, Complex Media, which now I'm very, very proud of. 60 some odd websites, 325 million page views a month. Very proud of it. Launched games from this platform, publishing my first one, which was Getting Up, a graffiti game. It's not the money that's good. What's really good, what I'm really proud of, besides this denture stuff, is the fact that this business was an impact business. Complex, for instance, I've seen a lot of my friends, guys that used to work for me, now running 50, 75, $100 million businesses. Right? We validated each other. Complex was a part of that. This hip-hop thing was so much more than music. This was like industry, right? And that's the bit that I'm most proud of, right? Now, the bit that I'm not as proud of, and I want to share with you, is like this pursuit of like the celebrity, right? Flashing lights, right, Kanye? Right, well, I could tell you, some years ago when I started marketing myself, coming from behind the curtain and saying, all right, I'm going to market Marc Ecko. I started dealing with, well, who's Marc Ecko? And I went into this weird phase as an artist. I started painting again quite a bit and really took focus off my business for a couple years. I did a series of paintings all about Alice in Wonderland. I kind of viewed the whole going into the rabbit hole like becoming a celebrity, right? And like what that was like. It was very synthetic. So early on, the pictures were really innocent and naive, and I started thinking of the characters that I would encounter. My PR agent was like the Brer Rabbit, always yelling at me to be on time, but she was always the one making you late. And then I went and did this other series of paintings that I've never shared with anyone. I hide them, actually. I'm showing these for the first time. They're paintings I did of jack-o'-lanterns. I was obsessed with jack-o'-lanterns. I thought like maybe I'm just obsessed with them because like they're orange and they're cool and they're kind of badass or whatever. I couldn't make sense of what the premise was. But now when I reflect back on it, it's actually a really interesting Genesis story of the jack-o'-lantern that's pertinent to the message I'm trying to share here. Do you guys know the story of Stingy Jack? Oh, stingy bit Jack. It's old Celtic tale. That's my bad excuse for Celtic or Irish. But it's a story about this guy Jack, right? And Jack is an old man. He's just a bad dude. He's a drunk. He's a womanizer, cheater, and he's just the worst, right? And he's so bad that the devil heard about him. And the devil's like, oh, I got to go get this guy. I mean, he is so bad, I got to go catch him. So he meets him at the bar. And he buys Jack some drinks. And they're drinking, and he tells him, I'm about to take you to hell, son. And Jack says, oh, devil, just one more drink, one last drink. And there's no more money. He said, well, just become a coin. It's my last dying wish. Become a coin for me that I could buy a last drink. So the devil becomes a coin. What does Jack do? He puts it in his wallet next to a cross, puts it in his back pocket. Boom! He traps the devil, right? He makes a deal. Devil says, I want to get out. He says, I'll let you out of the wallet if you promise never to let me go to hell. Devil says, that's a bet. So Jack goes on to live his life. 10 more years, he's a total scumbag, right? He dies, goes to the pearly gates, knocks. No one's answering. What's going on? Jack is like, what is going on? The devil says, I never said you'd get to heaven. Right? He thought it was a sure thing. Since he wasn't going to hell, what was left? Right? Heaven, no. Where he got stuck was purgatory. The jack-o'-the-lantern, Stingy Jack, is the tale of the devil giving a flame to Jack to have to travel neither here nor there on earth as the living dead. That's the story of the jack-o'-lantern. And it's kind of a lot like the story of this pursuit, this vapid pursuit of just being famous for the sake of being famous, right? We all want to do well. We want to be rich and famous, right? But it occurred to me, my obsession with the jack-o'-lantern and these masks was that I was kind of geeking out, like bugging out on this idea of celebrity, neither here nor there. That's how I felt about myself rather than focusing on what was inside. Neither heaven nor hell, neither known or unknown, right? So what's the idea from this? What do I want to share with you, rather? Someone left a really big dollar. It's big. You can tell it's fake. I created a formula that I want to share with you. Not much for math, but this is the idea of a unique voice. When you transform, when you shed your skin, the important thing to hold on to is your voice. What have I done? What am I the most proud of in life besides my kids? I'm the most proud of realizing and listening to, despite all the voices, my own voice, and trying to craft the unique voice. I say that it's what you do, it's action minus fear, okay, divided by yourself. How selfish or selfless are you? This is the idea of unique voice. I'll try to break it down for you very simply. If you're fearful, we know being fearful sucks. I mean, it immobilizes you. It arrests you from expressing yourself, right? Now, being completely fearless, you could be reckless, but fear with purpose, right, to yourself, to your voice, is meaningful. And that's when, real unique voices emerge. And it's not enough to just talk, right? Like someone like Ali, he didn't just talk. Let me tell you something. Doing and talking, two different things. Action is the great equalizer, okay? We live at a time, there's so much noise, so much chatter in the system, people just blah, 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 blah. A lot of people with really fearless ideas, but they don't act on it, right? That's the dilemma. And when you act on it, you become a unique voice. Those are the voices they make monuments to. Self. Well, you could either be really selfless, like Gandhi, who's like one in a gazillion, right? Like completely selfless, or really selfish. That even when you got everybody telling you everything that you want to hear, you still won't listen to anyone but yourself. That's the worst type to be. But there's some balance of self. There is a degree of selfishness that you have to kind of get to be able to filter the noise and establish your unique voice. So, this is the unique voices of a generation, right? This is how unique voices emerge, young boys that sell more records than, Elvis, right? People that change the world. That's what unique voices are about, man. Saying like Kanye and Abe, both two great guys from Illinois, right? So I challenge all of you, each and every one of you, from the inside out, guts to the skin, to the tape, to the denture glue, right? Figure out your unique voice. Nurture it, right? And especially today, man, there's a lot of friends out there. You got a lot of followers, friends, a lot of pressure. I'm not trying to sound like an old fart, but I just want to break this down for you because, I got a lot of friends on Facebook. Let me just break down a little something I learned, right, in life and in school. What is the definition of friend? It's actually Old English for Freund, which means lover or to love. You sure you love all your friends? Hold on to that word friend. That's precious. To love someone, man, it's because I follow you on Twitter, dog. Like, I don't necessarily love you. It's like I know you, okay? So don't forget that, all right? This is important, and I don't mean to, like I said, I don't want to sound old, but it's real. So no matter what you do, what you're going to do in your profession, you're going to go be the next Bill Gates, the next LeBron, a great next doctor, philosopher, whatever you do, own your voice. No one's going to own it for you. Not your mother, not your lover. No one's going to own it for you. You have to believe in yourself and be able to filter all that noise from the inside out. You feel me? There's no test for that. You can't test that at school. Okay? All the educators, please cover your ears for a moment. Okay. Here's a little secret I'm going to share with you, young folks, right? You're going to fail. It's okay. Okay? You're going to fail. And I'm not talking about the tests. It's one thing. I'm talking about to your knees, your skin, bloody, fail. And that's okay, because you know what? You know down deep inside of all of you, that's how you learn. You need to be motivated by failure. How'd you learn how to walk? You crawled, then you fell down, busted your tooth. Got some blood in your mouth, you get up and you walk. Right? Self-directed. Another little secret. You don't go to school. That's a myth. That's what we do to keep us busy. Young folks busy, K through 12, college, higher ed. You go to school. But in life, as my good friend Elliot Washer from Big Picture Learning has taught me, school comes to you. School comes to you. Here. To really get schooled, like you get educated, to really learn. That's inside out. School is everywhere. Okay? So shed your skin with pride. All right? And just face it, because it's going to happen. Your skin's going to fall off. All right? And engender your unique voice. Well, don't get distracted by all the white noise in the system. Don't lose the core. All right? I have a question. How many of you guys, hands, show of hands, how many of you folks here have a goal? All right, you sure? You sure you have a goal? Keep your hands up. Hands stay up. Are you sure you have a goal? Now, keep your hands up if you could believe you could realize that goal no matter what twists and turns come in your life. Anyone a little trepidation? I see some hands coming down. For those that have kept their hands up, you are all entrepreneurs. All right? Give yourself a hand, because that's what it's going to take. And I don't be like entrepreneur, get your mouth around that word, entrepreneur. What does that mean? Don't be a regular entrepreneur, be a beast, okay? Get it done, all right? Artist and instigator, that's what you got to be. A little bit of science, a little bit of math, little right brain, left brain, a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of peanut butter, two great tastes. It tastes great together, all right? Assemble these things in life, folks. Own it. Inside out, guts to the skin. It's not what you make, it's not what I make, but rather how I make people feel. That's what counts. Thank you for your time.